Hi, my name's Lisa Noon and I've decided to use some of this lockdown time to actually sort myself out and get a load of videos that I've recorded quite a while ago edited and sorted and posted on YouTube. So if those don't know me, I do Bible art journaling, I do general faith art, and I draw and paint and colour and do all things creative. By trade I'm a teacher. I'm not a trained art teacher, but I am a teacher. And recently I have been teaching some art, but mainly a lot of photography. So this video is a couple of years old that I'm editing together today. So this is what we're going to be creating today. We're working in Jeremiah 18, 1-4. I'm using my NIV Bible. It's my original journaling Bible. I've had it probably about 4, 5, maybe 6 years. It's got dark text, it's got lines, so you'll see me towards the end in kind of the postscript talk about that. After I'd finished the pencil crayon work, I went over the top of it with some Caran d'Ache neocolour 2 crayons, which are water-soluble wax crayons, because the text was so dark that I felt that it was dominating over the picture. Just as a postscript, I know a lot of you don't like to journal over your page of your writing, so do whatever you feel happy with. My journaling Bibles are journaling Bibles, they're not my reading Bibles, so they are there purely for me to create in and help me connect with God's Word. So have fun and let's journal together. So my starting point today, as has been for the last few days, is I listened to the Bible app called Bible in 1 Year, which is produced for free from Alpha. Nikki Gumbel comments on each part of the Bible, and I make notes in my journal, or sometimes I write on my background sheet. And today's title is Life Changing Words. And they've been looking at Psalm 19, 1-8, 1 Thessalonians 1 to 2:16, and Jeremiah 18, 1-20:18. And the bit that I am going to focus on today is the bit that Paul quotes later on, which is the bit about the potter forming the clay and how God can form us. So that's the beginning of Jeremiah 18. So I've just got a scrap piece of paper. This happens to be from an old New Wine programme. A scrap piece of card to stop when I press down it, making indents. I'm just going to kind of fasten it to the table because it keeps wanting to spring up. And this is just cheap washi tape from my favourite shop, B&M Bargains. It's not quite as sticky as the expensive stuff, but I'm not quite as precious about it either. And what I've done is I got myself an image off Google. For copyright purposes, I can't show you the image, but I've traced the image, and I'll put some stills in to show you. And then I scribbled on the back. This is just, it's not actually tracing paper, it's deli paper, because I couldn't find any tracing paper. What I'm going to do so it doesn't move is I'm just going to tape it down to the piece of card. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to press quite firmly on top of the lines that I've drawn. You can do it in pencil, or you can do it in a different colour so that you can see where you've been. And you're going to go over the old image, and the image should appear underneath. I'll come back. So I've traced through, pressed quite hard, and because this is deli paper, I didn't get enough of the darker lead on there, so it's quite difficult to draw over the lines, but you can kind of see where the lines are, and I'll add the other details in later. And then I'm going to just go over it with a fine line pen. Now I'm not page prepped, so my fine liner is going to shadow but it shouldn't go all the way through. And today I've just grabbed a Pitt Artist pen, but a Micron pen would do the same job. So I'm just going over all the lines so that I get a better image. So it's really quite amazing that God forms us into the person he wants us to be. Quite useful really, because I don't know about you guys, but God has a massive job to do with me. There's the pot, and I deliberately picked a pot that was a bit wonky. A picture with a pot that was a bit wonky. And this particular potter's hands are really dirty, and they are clearly a man's hands, which is what I wanted for this image. And I'm not overly precious with it. We're not doing a work of art. We're just doing something in our Bibles to remind us of the verse for today. So I'm not overly precious about getting this completely right. And you know, if we make a mess, well, remember the mess we made, but we'll still remember the verse. So I'm just kind of looking at my original drawing here now, and I'm just going to put in, because I can't see the lines that I drew. And if I just put it up against just fold this, it'll give me an idea of where things actually were. Again, look at the next finger. So we've got kind of a knuckle going off. Going off there. And then some more lines. There were lots of lines on this image, but these ones here are where the two fingers crease. I'm just looking at this bit now, and there's some lines there. And then looking at the fingers that are inside the pot, these have got lines. Some of these are shown through, some of them haven't. There's a finger there. And that gives me the basic outline of what I'm going to colour. So I'm going to colour that in a minute. Right, so we've got our image. I'm going to use the eraser. These are just cheap white plastic erasers. Get a box full of them from Amazon for next to no cost, or you can pick them up at places like Tesco's, a bit more expensive, but they're brilliant because they don't leave any residue. They're quite gentle on your pages, they don't tear your pages. And I've got my reference image opposite me, but as I said, for copyright purposes I can't put it on the video. So I'm going to begin by looking at some colours for the skin. Some browns. It's a Caucasian skin, but it's quite clayey. Let's try those colours. These are Prismacolors, but use what you have. You don't have to have what I've got. Use what you're happy with. I've said before that Prismacolors are lovely, they're creamy, but they are prone to breaking. So I'm going to just use the very pale colour to put a layer on the background to start with, on all of it. So to get a general colour on all the parts that are hands or fingers, shapes, including the nail parts. And we're not looking for a work of art, we're just looking for something that's going to remind us of the Bible verse. I'm using my pencil on its side so I get maximum coverage of the area. Do the best you can when you get to near the margin. It's quite tricky to shade in there. So I've got my general coloured layers on all the fingers now. And I'm going to start to add shadow areas. So it goes darker between the fingers. So I'm going to go light to dark. And it's dark down this part as well. I'm fading it out to a lighter colour. And the same just here, you've got quite a dark edge just down here. Both fingers. I'm going to remove some of this tape because I'm actually holding it down now with my fingers, so it's not such a problem. Again, now looking at the original image, these two kind of join just here, so I'm just going to add a line there. To show that's what's happening. And add the extra layer there. Back to putting my shadows in. And again, dark shadows here, go into lighter images. So I'm kind of blending it out too. This is to give the impression that the finger is round. And then looking at the fingers that are coming this way, we've got darker shadows down here and down here, so it's the exact opposites. So it's the same as these, only the other way around is what I'm trying to say. And then here, this finger's got quite a big shadow on it. Now this one, because where it is, has got a shadow there and a shadow coming up here. And there's a line just here. Because these are two different, this is a different hand. And this one's got quite a shadow going off here as well. I don't have a problem in any way, shape or form blocking out the lettering in my Bible, the words, but this time I just want to keep them intact. Now I want to pick up on a clay colour, so I'm thinking this might be the right colour. Yeah, it is. So I'm going to use this for the outer, the lighter colours of clay. So we've got kind of highlighty colours. I'm going to give the whole lot a turn around, and I'm shading a downward motion. give the idea that the that's the finger, that is. So the good thing is that this rubs out if it's nice and light. So that's the finger that comes up, something like that. That needs the dark edge colour going off there. Well, so I put the kind of pick the right colour up again. So I've got the base colours in here. There's a shadow underneath this one here, which I think needs to be with quite a darker brown. Yeah. It's not black, but it's a brown. And same with the shadow between the fingers. The shadow inside this pot here. Now where the dark brown is, you are going to struggle to read the text, I think. But the key thing is the text for today's reading, which is here, will still be able to be seen. And I'm just looking at the so we need to use this really dark colour in between here and in between these fingers here. And there is an amount of shadow, but not full shadow. Getting dark down here. Just gonna sharpen this so I get a nice tip on it and get in the shadow. I think we are going to lose some of the original text, but I can live with that. I'm not precious about my Bible. It's not my reading Bible, this is my journaling Bible. Now this one has got a deeper shadow than the original shadow there. And I'm just going to put some more colours on this, like so. I'm going to build it up. With a little bit of that in the background to give it a bit more depth of colour. And the clay on the picture is quite red or orange, so I'm going to kind of add this colour, I think. To give the idea of clay. And go back in and get the darks, quite dark as such. Right, so the nails need a bit more work and the colours on the fingers need work. This one's by nowhere near. just using various shades of brown. Now on the original image, a lot of these lines are quite grubby because it shows they're actually potter's hands, and underneath the nails is the dirt of the clay, like so. And I think that's really, really, really important. So I'm going to kind of get some marks on here, and also use the clay colour to give it an idea, kind of to give it a little bit of a thought, a suggestion. They've got clay on them, maybe some clay in there. And then on the original wheel, there are some more circles, like so, which didn't trace. I've just drawn those in freehand. And the potter's wheel is a kind of a buff colour, so I'm going to kind of go with this colour to give it a bit of shade, to give it the idea that it's round. I'm following this shape around. Like so. So I'm just getting a coat of colour on, and then I'm looking at where the highlights and the lowlights are. So these are quite dark, these ridges. I'm going to put the original colour in, like so. Then I'm going to use this, the darker brown. I think I may have put back. No, that one. Use the dark brown to give it some depth. And likewise on the inside of here, there's a dark brown. And the background falls away. The dark brown too. So I'm just going to shade off the page, build up that colour. I'm just adding a few layers, and actually you're better off doing it in layers and getting gradually darker than you are trying to add it all at once and getting it wrong. Oops, forgot I'd still got that bit taped down. Take that off. And now I'm suggesting this circular motion here as well, to add kind of to the depth of the colour. And you can colour in opposite directions as long as on each layer it's the same direction. And I'm darkening up where the edge of the wheel is to give the impression to separate it from the background, like so. I'm going to just pink up the nails a little bit. Do that by cross hatching. I'm hoping that the video's not gone really bright because the sun's just come out here. It wasn't out when I started filming, so anything could happen. So I do want to go a little bit darker. I want to find a darker brown. What do you think that one is? It says it's grey, but it doesn't look grey to me. So I'm going to go on top of this. Just kind of give it an almost. I'm staying away from using black. I don't want black. Black kind of takes away completely from the original. Black kind of sucks colour out of the and I'm going to use the really dark colour around there as well. The last thing I'm going to do is put some highlights in. I'm going to use Posca paint pen. I'm just going to put a little bit of a shadow in under here, because there is on the original. Now this is acrylic paint, so once it's on you can't do much about it. So I'm colouring and just smudging with it, and everywhere where there's highlights. I'm just adding little bits of highlights on top of things. Some highlights. So put today's date on, October 17, 2017, and it's Jeremiah 18 verse 1 to 4. Well, consider it finished. So after finishing this page yesterday and looking at it afresh, I decided that my colours weren't dark enough and bold enough. So on top of the pencil I already put on, I used some marker, some of these Caran d'Ache neocolour 2, just to build up the colours and to make it a bit bolder. So I used this one as a skin tone, this ochre kind of colour to give the shadows and to give the impression. I used ochre there, and I used the brown to enhance that, and to blend it I just used my finger, so because you can add water to these, but I'd got no gesso on this page, so I just used the friction of my finger to get the colours to blend. And I put a little bit of a highlight across the middle. You might also see a little bit of white across the centre of the pages, and it just meant that the colours, the texture I put underneath is still there, but the colours just popped a little bit. And then I put myself a little tab on. So I thought I'd add that to the end because I felt that the colours were a bit wishy-washy before. So there you are. But use what you've got.
So if you like this video, please click the like, thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want me to continue making video content for you to enjoy. Thank you.